Hello and welcome to the Dragon Den. I'm KingofDragons 5000 and today I have another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Bandai SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z, the Legendary Super Saiyan, Broly. One of the most iconic Dragon Ball Z villains finally comes to the Dragon Den, and I'm very happy to have this version of Broly. The look of Broly is so iconic, and even though it's an older figure, I'm still very happy to have Broly. There's a lot of details to go over with Broly, and I'm really excited to show it off. Broly is going to come with 3 different faceplates, as well as 3 sets of hands. We'll also get 3 Ki Blasts for Broly. And finally, we do get a 40th anniversary display stage. As we take a look at Broly, Bandai has done a phenomenal job with Broly, and even though the sculpt is older, it still looks very good. Add to it, Broly has a phenomenal paint job. Taking a look at the faceplate, Broly is going to have a very well painted face. He will have this menacing, stern face, and it does look good with his whited out eyes. Unfortunately, the paint isn't going to be as detailed as it is on newer figures, but it still looks very clean. His earrings are still going to be done in this very nice gold. And his hair is sculpted very nicely, and it is very pointy, and I really do like the green shading that they included. However, the green shading is just in the front, as it doesn't carry over to the back. As you would expect, Broly is going to have this very massive and very broad chest. The sculpt work in his chest is going to be done very well, and in the recesses of his muscles you can see some very good shading. The sculpt work on his torso is very good, as they even included some sculpted nipples. All his abdomen muscles are going to be well defined and have this really nice paint job. And that paint will carry over to his very broad muscular back. Around his neck, he is wearing his signature gold necklace, which is done in gold paint, and I really do like the gem in the front. Taking a look at Broly's arms, he's going to have these very massive shoulders. Just like with his torso, Broly is going to have an exceptional paint job on his arms. The sculpt on his arms is going to be quite solid, and it's only highlighted by this impressive paint job. And on his forearms, he is going to have these gold bands, which are painted very well. And on the back of each of his gauntlets, we're going to have that metallic blue gem. Around his waist, Broly is going to be wearing this red sash. We will have a hint of gold in the front, as well as another blue gem. But his waist piece is going to have some impressive detail, as the sculpt work is very solid, and they highlight it with a really good paint wash. And underneath his sash, he is going to be wearing a pair of white pants. His pants are going to be nice and baggy, and they sculpted a lot of great folds and wrinkles here. And just like with the rest of his body, his pants are going to have a phenomenal paint wash. That nice wash on his pants does a really good job bringing out all those impressive details. Broly's boots are going to be done in that same shade of gold, which looks very clean, and I really do like the blue gem on the front of each boot. He will have some red wraps going around his ankles, and I really do like the red and gold on his shoes. So despite Broly using an older sculpt, they packed this guy with a lot of paint. Surprisingly, it's more paint than we've seen on newer figures, but it does a really good job highlighting all those details. And the paint job is very clean, with the only complaint I have being that there's no paint on the back of his hair. With the paint and details out of the way, let's compare Broly to our usual suspects. As you would imagine, the Legendary Super Saiyan is going to tower over domestic toy lines. And standing him next to other 1/12 scale action figures just shows how big he is. And he does a really good job scaling with the rest of your Dragon Ball collection. Broly is going to have a ball joint in his head and a double ball hinge in the neck. Ball sockets in his shoulders. Arms hinge out to the side and do a full 360. A swivel in the bicep and double hinges in the elbow. A ball joint in the wrist. Broly will have a ball joint in the upper torso and a ball joint in the lower torso. His legs will kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. He will have a double bend in the knee, a ball hinge in his ankle, and finally a toe hinge. The Legendary Super Saiyan has to be my second favorite movie villain, and I'm finally happy to have Z Broly in my collection. Although this figure has been released several times in the past, I unfortunately missed out on the original figure, the Comic-Con figure, and the second Comic-Con figure. And seeing as how second price market for those figures is exceptionally high, I'm very glad that Bandai re-released this version of Broly. For the most part, he will come with the exact same accessories as those original figures, however, I do think he's missing the one attachment for Goku. But seeing as how that old mold is no longer in use, it's understandable why they did not include that with Broly. But Broly here does stand out as a well-made figure, as the sculpt on him is very clean and very solid. And all that sculpted detail is only highlighted by this exceptional paint job. Although I do like the inclusion of the Ki Blast, I would have loved to see an update where they actually do peg into his hands. But even being a dated figure, this Broly still stacks up very nicely to modern day Dragon Ball figures. At the time I'm making this video, unfortunately Bandai is no longer offering Broly as his window of opportunity to purchase him is closed. So unfortunately that does mean secondhand market is the only way to pick up Broly at this point. Although there are third-party alternatives for Broly, I feel like you definitely need the OG Broly in your collection. If you're able to track one down at a reasonable price, definitely pick up the Legendary Super Saiyan. With that being said, thank you for watching another video here on the Dragon Den. But before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my Dragon Ball videos. If you're in a position to help out the Dragon Den, check out my Patreon where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm KingofDragons 5000, reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.